Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 2746x6AFG. This is a mill finish aluminum thermal barrier saddle type threshold is what it is. This is a saddle threshold. It's also a thermal break threshold. It is very wide and not very tall. So let's go over it. First of all, the 2746 is really going to be a representation of this half saddle portion that you see here. When you add the X6, you're adding a 6-inch piece to it as well. And the AFG is going to give you A for mill aluminum. And then the FG is going to be a reference to thermal break, which is this piece of vinyl key stock that's installed in here that provides a way to join the two pieces together, but also provides a way to not allow the transmission easily of energy through the threshold because there's a disparate material there. It's not all straight aluminum all the way through where the heat or the cold or whatever can just transfer easily. This significantly disrupts the ability of that to happen. So much so that I've seen installations that featured a thermal barrier threshold. Chicago, middle of January, it's literally 8 degrees outside. On the inside wall of this heated space, you could reach down and touch the threshold, and while it was not room temperature, it was orders of magnitude warmer than the exterior side. So none of that cold, or a great amount of that cold, was not transferred to the inside of that opening. Thermal barrier thresholds are simply more expensive, but they are outrageously effective at helping prevent that transmission of that cold energy to the inside, which is going to be an advantage when it comes to not only energy efficiency, but the buildup of condensation on the inside of the threshold as well, and all the damage that itself will do over time to the floor, to the sill, to the bottom of the steel frame, or whatever is installed there. Okay, this is also a 12-inch wide threshold, which is not real common in of itself, but you do see them occasionally when you have a very wide, deep frame. You might have an 18-inch wall and you've ordered 14-inch jam depths. Well, you're going to want a very wide threshold for such a unit because not having a threshold that will cover the bottom of the frame may not work very well for your application. So it's 12-inch wide. It's also 1/4-inch rise, and that will make it obviously handicap compliant, certainly being only 1/4-inch wide, high. This is a sample piece. This is literally a sample piece used just for this video. If it was the genuine article, you're certainly going to have screws that would be drilled and countersunk at probably about 5 inches from the end. This is going to be available in 3 finishes. A for mill aluminum finish, which is what you see here. It's what the aluminum literally looks like when it comes from the mill. It's also available in D for dark bronze anodized aluminum, so you can get it in a dark bronze finish as well. And then G for gold anodized. Okay, a relatively matte finish, anodized gold over aluminum. Now it's listed in the website in lots of different lengths, pretty much everything from 2 foot to 8 foot. Now you can order lengths longer than 8 foot. That wouldn't be really uncommon either. But we don't list them because the cost to ship them is considered prohibitive. So keep that in mind. If you were to need a length longer than 8 foot, reach out to us. We'll be happy to quote it for you. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. Now the reasoning is if you had to take this piece, let's imagine if it was a 4 foot length and you had to cut it down to say 42-inch, you'd certainly eliminate one of those sets of countersunk screw holes that would be there. For the screw would be probably a number 10 by 1.5 inch flathead wood screw Phillips drive. You'll be stuck drilling and countersinking new holes, and quite frankly sometimes it's the countersinking that becomes problematic. And it's obviously not problematic drilling holes, but sometimes what happens is the installer doesn't actually countersink the hole because they find that they don't have a countersink. So you'll see a flathead screw just run down through a regular hole, and that's just a matter of time before the failure will occur. The threshold's going to take a lot of workload this way, but also the lateral movement as well, and that will really work that screw loose sooner or later. So if you want to avoid the trouble of having to drill and countersink, and obviously cut all of this to length, and do so in such a way that you'll be able to get the pieces slid back together, which is not always something that you really had in mind to do. So I strongly urge you to order a custom length, and to, if you have need for a custom length, save yourself the effort of having to cut it all down, and we'll do that for you. Now, you might want to, you might not be able to avoid doing some work. I have people that will take a frame like this where they've got that same 18-inch deep wall. They're using an 8 3/4 frame, and then they're going to cope the profile of the frame into the threshold and let it sit down and let the exterior face and interior face run long against the face of the jamb. You'll caulk that smooth and give some added protection to the bottom part of the frame. So you may not be ultimately able to avoid work, but the factory's cutting them from 14-foot extrusions anyway. 44 inches the same to them as 45 3/8. It just doesn't matter. Order the next longest piece, and that's the way they'll send it out naturally. Okay, nice quality item. The name Pemko, speaking of nice quality, is synonymous with all things not only commercial weather stripping related, but residential as well. And you can review all of their weather stripping from the link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where we have all Pemko material listed. Not very helpful, quite frankly, because there's literally tens of thousands of Pemko items. There is a helpful link to the full line product catalog, however, that I like to use. For instance, if you're looking for this threshold and some sister products, pull up the full line catalog, do a find function on your keyboard, say Control F, type in 2746, and just see what you find in the book. And certainly you will get to that section where you'll find thresholds like this. Then the X6AFG, and you'll get to the genuine article right here. Okay. Also, there's a link to the manufacturer's website as well on that link to the manufacturer's page. If you have any questions on the Pemko 2746x6AFG saddle type thermal barrier 12 by 1/4 inch threshold, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.